Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Q&A, the last one leading up to The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 4, Slabtown. So I almost didn't get time to actually make this video, but thankfully daylight savings time saved the day, giving me an extra hour to get an extra Q&A, yes! Gotta love fallback, at least if you're in North America, because we get, an extra hour and everything. So yeah, I decided I'd go ahead and do this one anyway, because even though it's kind of close to the release of Episode 4, mainly because of the fact that I had so many questions that I hadn't gotten around to answering yet this week. There were so many questions you guys asked, so just out of respect for you guys, decided I would post it anyway. If anyone watches, great. If nobody watches, okay, well, at least I got around to answering subscriber questions. So thank you guys for all the questions. As always, you guys are amazing. You know you are. You're awesome, and I love you all. First question is from Memester786, and he says, "Hey Trev, I think you should do a video comparing the season premieres of all the Walking Dead seasons." So this is kind of what I've touched on a little bit after we actually saw the premiere in the review for the premiere. And I won't do a whole video on this. I'll just let you know right now because it won't take that long. Basically, the Season 5 premiere was the best. In fact, the first 3 episodes, I think, were probably the most exciting we've ever seen in The Walking Dead. When you compare it to the others, I'd say my second favorite would be Season 2, What Lies Ahead. Amazing, amazing premiere. Just watched that one in the throwback review that I did this summer, and even by today's standards, it's incredible, stands up well. It's got some extra minutes in there, had a lot of deleted scenes, and it was like one of the best premieres. It was the best up until Season 5. Season 5 narrowly beating it out, at least for me. And then after that, I'd probably go Season 3, premiere, Season 4, and then Season 1. And nothing against Season 1. It's like a perfect intro episode, perfect beginning. But it's the beginning, so it's slow to start. You're getting used to the characters. You're getting to know everybody. It's still incredible. Morgan in it is amazing and all that, and it's a great episode. But I feel like The Walking Dead just kind of has gotten better as we've been watching it. It's certainly become more popular as we've been watching it. So yeah, there's my list for you. Season 5, just the premiere, just smashed it. Season 2, incredible premiere. 3, 4, 1. That's the way I would go in terms of which ones I thought were the best, but that's just me. Everybody has their own taste for what they like. The Season 1, for example, had some great character elements with Morgan's wife and all that, and if you really like Morgan, and I do, that's something you might have to consider. It's just that I've seen it so many times, and it's so not played out, but it's so retro at this point that I don't think you can really compare it because it's the first one. Next question is from Lucky, and he or she asks, "Do you think Gareth would have really let Father Gabriel and Judith go when the hunters raided the church?" Okay, so would he have let them live? Would he have let them go? This is a tough one. At first, I would probably say no, he probably wouldn't let them go. He'd probably keep them around and corral them and keep them just in case he needs them. But because Father Gabriel might be useful because he knows the terrain, right? So he might keep Father Gabriel there. But Judith, what would he do with Judith? That's a tough one. I think personally he would. This is tough to talk about. This is kind of dark. I mean, Martin and the others, they're pretty inhuman, right? But I think it would make sense that they would maybe either just leave Judith, like they just leave her there and just say forget it, or they would, maybe Father Gabriel, because the thing about Father Gabriel is he's defenseless, he's harmless. They don't have to worry about him tracking them down or coming after them if they let him live. They can use him for a little while to find out information about the area and about maybe where they can find supplies and things of that nature. And then maybe they would leave baby Judith with him, because they wouldn't really want to have baby Judith in the group, right? If you think about it, baby crying, zombie apocalypse, zombies everywhere. It's an anchor, like Martin says. What did he say? An anchor without a boat in the ocean. He's got a brutal zeitgeist, brutal look on reality, but he does make a point. It is really tough. I mean, at the same time, though, if you have a baby in a zombie apocalypse, it gives you a reason to live, reason to survive, and everything, right? Too. So it's not a bad thing in terms of that sense. But the hunters themselves, I think I don't think they would kill Judith. I think they would either leave her there or they would leave her with Father Gabriel. Yeah, because would they kill Father Gabriel? Maybe they'd leave him there in case they ever got really hungry, then they come back or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think actually in this case, I really do think Gareth would have let them live. I don't think Gareth would have killed them, wasted a bullet, or, because all the others were there. If they had defeated Rick's group, they would have had all the others there to do what they want with. So I think they would have, in that situation, probably let him go. Now, if they were starving and there was no one around, then they may, yeah. But Judith, that's a baby. I don't know about that one, man. That I don't think so. As inhuman as they are, I think that's a little bit, yeah, I don't think so. However, Gareth did talk about the bears and the cub thing. Remember that? So, I wouldn't put it past them, but I'd say probably not. But that's just my thoughts. I've got a little bit of a darker than normal brain anyway, but I can't even conceive of someone possibly doing that. However, it is possible based on, like he said there. I just don't think he would. I would lean towards probably not, because he'd probably want to, if he did that, he'd have to live with the guilt, and he'd probably want to commit suicide later or something. Who knows? I don't know. Next question is from Christian Dobbe. Yeah, and Christian asks, hey Trev, I have a discussion topic for you. During the off-season, there were many rumors going around that Glenn would be killed off in the first few episodes. But since he's still alive and probably safe this week, he wants to get my thoughts on that whole thing. Yeah, that was a rumor, that Glenn was going to be killed off. It might have had something to do with the trailer. It might have had something to do with how it looked in the trailer, with the guy with the bat kind of getting ready to swing up to Glenn. There was also a rumor that in filming something happened. So I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll have to just wait and see. I certainly hope it's not true at this point, because it'd kind of be a little bit, lackluster, because it was kind of leaked out there online. It was, out there, so it's still out there. So I'd say whenever you get a rumor like that, it does add to the possibility that it could be true, and that character in particular could be killed off. So I really hope it's not true. And at this point, I'd kind of say, yeah, I think it's probably not true, to tell you the truth. I don't see it right now. I'd like it if they just let Glenn live permanently in the show, like for a really, really long time. I think that'd be cool. If he just stuck around for like ever, like Daryl or Rick or some of the others. At least I hope Daryl will stick around for a while. I guess we'll see. Next question is from Matt John, and he says, hey Trev, what do you think they will do with Rosita? Right now, I don't feel like she's bringing much to the show. Yeah, Matt's absolutely right, and other people have mentioned this as well too. She's kind of there, and with the way the episodes have been going this season, we can really get a sense of maybe the cast is actually a little bit too large. You know what I mean? Like, it feels a little bit like that, because you have so many characters all over the place. You have such a big group as part of Rick's group, with Abraham's group being added on. You've got Tara, you've got all the others. You had Gareth and the Hunters and everybody else. But the show's got a bigger budget. It's doing really well. They can obviously afford to add on some more people. But you're right, she's one of the characters that's there, but we don't really see all that much. Maybe that's part of the reason why they're separating up the groups, so that they can keep. It makes sense for the budget if you think about it, because then, if you don't have an actor or actress in an episode, you don't have to pay them, right? Andrew Lincoln gets, I think, $90,000 an episode. At least he did. And actually, Chandler Riggs, I think, gets like 80 or 70 or something really high like that. So does Norman Reedus. He's way up there too. So every episode they're in, you got to pay them like these guys are making millions in a season for sure. They're making a lot of cash. Their net worth is in the tens of millions for sure for some of the big names in the show. And also with the cons and everything else they do, advertising and all that. I mean, they're doing well. So. Yeah, anytime they can separate it up and kind of keep characters out, that does reduce the budget of the series. But with Rosita, I feel like she's somebody, they're adding in a lot of characters because they're doing 16 episodes a season. There's going to be deaths going out, throughout the season every few episodes, or premieres, finales, stuff like that. We haven't had a lot of deaths in the last few seasons. So we've had like one at a time, that kind of thing. Villain, not counting the villains, right? The villains get killed off. Yeah, that's fine. That's understandable. But in terms of the survivors, one at a time, this kind of thing, I think we might be due for a big one, like with a few deaths or something like we saw in season 3 with both T-Dog and Lori in the same episode. That was huge. So I'm thinking we might see some more stuff like that coming up in the future. And they have to have a lot of characters on the roster if they're gonna do that. So she's kind of one of those that's in limbo right now. I'm sure that we're gonna see more of her story this season. Abraham's this season. They'll get around to it. It's just that there's so many elements and dynamics to The Walking Dead with the season and all the different characters, locations, stuff they have going on that they haven't gotten around to developing her yet. They've been too busy with the other things. So I think with The Walking Dead too, like you see with Tyrese, they do a great job. They mix in a little bit of character dev in with all the other action and plot that's going on. So they kind of mix it in, have everything else, so that it doesn't feel dry to have all this character dev and then have something happen after. They mix all the episodes together so they have a good formula per episode. And I feel like they're masters of doing that. They do an excellent job of that. Next question is from Fallion67, and he or she asks, in Season 5 trailer, we hear Gareth say, you join us and we go to Washington and cure this thing. Yeah, I mentioned this in a previous Q&A, I think. Yeah, I forget which one because I do so many, right? But yeah, that was, I believe they put that on purpose for misinformation. Either that or it was a deleted scene. Maybe something else he had said in possibly in the church when he was talking to the others, if you think about it. Maybe he said something like he knew Eugene was in there or something. I don't remember where Eugene was exactly. Did they leave him there? I'd have to double check. But maybe Gareth had said that, at that time and they cut the clip or something. Or maybe they just had Andrew J. West voice that over, put it in the trailer to mislead us. Which, as you guys saw in my other Q&A, I like that. I think they should continue to do that. Makes the show less predictable, keeps us on our toes so we don't know what they're doing. But yeah, good question. Next question is from Domino12. He or she asks, do you think it was smart to finish the Hunter story arc after basically 3 episodes, or do you think they should have kept them around for a longer time? Well, I touched on this in my my Hunter Spotlight video where I gave my thoughts on that. It was short but sweet, but I do feel like they definitely could have used them for half a season because I think they're really scary villains, they're really intimidating, and they'd be good villains to have kind of out there in the world that we don't see for a while that kind of pop in and out rather than right away kind of pop in. Although realistically, it does make sense that if they're going to be on their tail and catch them, it would be pretty quick after they had left. They probably wouldn't be trailing them for long, especially if they got a vehicle or something. That wouldn't make sense, right? So yeah, but yeah, watch that video if you want to hear more thoughts on that, Domino. It's in the channel. I did it today as well, or at least it was released today. Next one is from Keith Manda. Keith wants to know, what's your opinion on Tyrese? Do you think he'll ever snap out of it? So he's talking about Tyrese's development and how he is basically holding back, how he is not doing what he needs to do in order to survive in the zombie apocalypse, allowing Martin to live even though he should not have. It was a mistake to do that, I'd have to say, and he definitely should not have done that. Maybe Bob's fate would have been different, but who knows what would have happened. But still, I'd say as a decision right there, yeah, you're right, he did make a bad decision there. Do you think he'll ever snap out of it? No, I don't think so. I think that's his character, and I don't think we're going to see him change from that, and I think that might be the death of him this season or next season, one of the two. So that's what I'm thinking. Another question from Keith, and he says, why did Rick start digging a grave beside Tyrese? There seemed to be a stack of bodies underneath the sheet next to them. Were they burying the hunters too? Why would they bury them? Yeah, that's a really, really good question. Yeah, why would they? You're right. I don't know why they would. It'd be less effort to just throw them in the woods or something. Maybe they wanted to kind of keep the church as, a good location that they know about. It's a good thing in a zombie apocalypse, to have certain spots that are safe havens or are pretty good spots, so that if you ever need to run or go somewhere, you have a location ready. And obviously, it would make sense to kind of clean out the church. I almost said prison there. Did you catch that? Clean out the church to, like all the blood everywhere. Like clean it up as best you can so that you can sleep there. You can have, it's obviously very secure and very well built because, Gabriel stayed there for all this time. No zombies were able to get in and kill him, and he's useless. All he can do is run away. He can't kill any of them, right? So, and eventually they'll move on. So I would say with them, they probably just wanted to kind of bury them and then forget about it rather than leaving their bodies around somewhere in case they have to stay there for a while waiting for Carol or Daryl, or in case they want to just have that as kind of an outpost. That's my thoughts on it anyway. I think that's, you know, a really smart thing to do, which is to have a few spots that you are at least aware of so that if something happens, you have a place you can meet or you can go. You know, you could tell everybody this will be our backup location. Should we ever get separated again, go to the church, right? So if you get separated, you can go to the church, wait for the others, and eventually if they're still alive, they head there, you can meet up again, and you can start again, right? Makes sense. If your group gets overrun or something, who knows what could happen, right? Next one is from Patrick Curtis, and he says, "Hey Trev, video suggestion. Who are your favorite five actors on The Walking Dead so far?" Really, really good question, man. I've done a video topic like that previous. Yeah, I believe I have. You know, it comes down to probably, I mean, Andrew Lincoln's done an amazing job, but John Bernthal is probably the standout for The Walking Dead still for me, just because he took a character in the comic books that was totally unlikable, and he created an amazing character out of him. Really, really great. And even when I watched season 2 again, it's like, wow, man, the emotion, you know. Darabont was down with, he really made you feel for characters, you know, and they've done that with Bob too in the series as well too, very well as well. But yeah, you know, what they did with Shane and John Bernthal's acting as Shane, he probably would be at the top of the list. Andrew Lincoln's got to be in there. Norman Reedus and his creation, Daryl, because you guys have to consider that Daryl was basically his idea. From what I've heard about the behind the scenes and things like that, Daryl was a character they kind of created for him, for Norman Reedus to be in the show because he wanted to be in the show. He had a lot of passion about it. So, of course, they wanted to let him in because he's well known with some of the other movies he's done. Yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head. What's the one with he's the Irish brother, the Boondock Saints? Yeah, and he's in a lot, but that's a good example of one of the bigger movies he's in. And you know, they wanted to put him in there. So what he's created with Daryl, what he's done with Daryl is pretty awesome, I think. So he's one of my favorites. He'd be in there as well, too. Actually, the actress who plays Carol, if you look at this season and last season with, man, Melissa McBride, she's incredible, man, amazing. Lenny James as Morgan, insanely good, just incredible. So you know, there's more than 5 already. We could keep going. You know, there's so many great actors in it that have done an awesome job. How can I forget David Morse? He's the governor, man, great villain. He's an incredible actor too. Watch The Driver with him in it. It's just a 3-episode kind of miniseries, but you know, on BBC, but. He's incredible, man. He's a great actor. You know, there's lots of others. The actress who plays Michonne, Denai Guerrera. Who could forget Michael Rooker? You know, we could go on forever here, right? So I won't go on much longer. But you guys get the idea. There's a lot of really, really good ones. I'd have to think hard about that one at this point. So and narrow it down to just top 5. But I mentioned some of the ones that would be in it for sure. Also Herschel, Scott Wilson, and there's just so many, man. It's hard to mention them all. How amazing they are. Next question is from Amy McGeary. Thank you, by the way, Amy, for all the great questions. She sends through some awesome questions. So I really appreciate that, and some of the others as well too that send through great questions. This one is: do you think that episode 7's title may be a result of Carol double-crossing the group, which may be the reason she didn't come out with Daryl in the last episode, or perhaps when Morgan or Morales return and cross paths with the group? I think it's possible. What do you guys think about this one? Is it possible that Carol, in the time she left Rick's group, may have found the place where Beth is and may have joined with them and then gone back after to find the group and to try to, I don't know, I mean, you know, bring them back? I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch because she didn't seem to want to bring Tyrese there. They went to Terminus instead, and Lizzie and Mika. But, you know, we don't really know what happened to Carol in that time, right? So it's possible that she could cross them. You know, she could double cross them. That's what the episode's called, Crossed. Yeah, so we could see something like that, you know, or maybe, I don't know, maybe something to do with Morgan, or, you know, at this time it's too early to say. We have to see a promo and stuff, but it's definitely a good idea, and it's definitely something that we could see something with, because who knows what they're going to do with Carol. She's incredible. But it could be anybody backstabbing somebody. I mean, who knows at this point? Glenn and the others with Abraham, or that group, or maybe, you know, referring to Eugene, something he does. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Next one is from M. Birch, and he says, Trev, what do you think would be the best way to introduce Negan in the TV show? I think they should introduce Negan, like have him kill like 2 people right away. You know, like 2 big survivors. Like have him show up, you know, after maybe Rick and some of the members of his group have killed some of the saviors, not knowing what they're dealing with. And maybe actually have it shot from, you know, like a close-up on the characters that he kills. And don't show him. Like have him in the background as a figure kind of first, and where we don't see his face maybe and see his feet or something and what he's wearing, and then see a bat or something like that. I don't know, just maybe use some interesting ways of kind of bringing him in where they kind of give us a little bit. We kind of are getting to know who Negan is, but then we don't get to see him until finally like he's killed somebody, or you know, something like that. Like really kind of bring it in an interesting way. Have him maybe you know, kill off 2 people right as soon as he comes through, because we got a lot of characters, so they could kill off a couple and it wouldn't be a big deal. Okay. So losing my voice, I won't do too many others. This one's from X Random Mizik, and he says, please do a video on Too Far Gone versus Ozymandias versus your favorite Game of Thrones episode. So he wants to see kind of a comparison between, you know, the 3 of them. Yeah, I've kind of done stuff like that before, but a lot of people don't watch the other series. Ozymandias is Breaking Bad, by the way, the best episode of Breaking Bad probably. Well, that and the finale were really good, but yeah, that's probably the best one. Too Far Gone, best episode of The Walking Dead, and then my favorite Game of Thrones episode, I'd have to look at the episode list. I can't really give you off the top of my head, but Blackwater is, man, that's probably the best episode by itself. That's an incredible episode, really good. Or Oberyn versus the Mountain was a really good one. The episode after it, the season 4 finale was incredible as well too. So there's a lot of really good episodes of Game of Thrones. But if we just say Blackwater, because it is epic as all hell, that's one of the best episodes ever. But for me, Too Far Gone is still the best ever that I've ever seen. I mean, after I was watching that episode, I was just shaking. I was so like excited, and just because I love the series, right? It's like my favorite series ever. That issue of The Walking Dead is my favorite issue ever, and the TV series did it justice. And it was an incredible episode for a lot of Walking Dead fans. So Too Far Gone would be my favorite ever, and then maybe Ozymandias was tight. If you like Breaking Bad, I can see if anybody thinks that's better than, you know, any of the Walking Dead. I couldn't really argue with you. I mean, this is all about what you like, right? These are all like 10 out of 10 perfect episodes. Really comes down to what do you like the best, which series are you most invested in, which one do you like the best. You know, that's really all there is to it. And then Blackwater, again, amazing. Like in terms of a battle, that thing was crazy. Or when the wildlings attacked the wall in Game of Thrones season 4 as well too. That was big too. Anyway, yeah. So I'll wrap it up now because we're going on for like 20 minutes. So yeah. I'm sorry if I didn't get to the rest of your questions, guys. There was like there was a few more too, but unfortunately I just didn't only have so much time. I did about an hour this week, separated up between the videos of Q&As. So I hope you guys like them, and I hope you come on back tonight for the a premiere of season 5, episode 4, Slabtown. Top 5 video will be done after that. Predictions video, of course, same night. I'll probably release 2, and then I'll do the top 5 probably the next day. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all of those answers. Let me know what you think about the Q&As, and also, of course, tonight, hopefully, I will see you guys back. If you're new to the channel, these are mostly for subscribers, but if you just are a casual viewer, and there are a lot of them, if you want to sign up for a YouTube account, it takes about like 4 or 5 minutes. All you need is an email address, and who doesn't have an email address these days? And you can go ahead and subscribe. Helps me out, and then you can get these videos in your subscriber feed on a daily basis. And yeah, it's a win-win for both of us, and I hope you guys like the videos. So let me know what you think about all that. If you like this video, you guys know what to do. I don't even need to say it. Thumb it up below. If you really want to help, please share it on your Facebook. And yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. As always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace. See you tonight.